If your organization is still collecting survey data on paper, you're losing time, you're losing accuracy, and leaving insights on the table. Hi everyone, I'm Ishita Avasthi, and today I'll be walking you through CAPI, that is Computer Assisted Personal Interviewing, what it is, how it works, which platforms you can actually start using today. Whether you are in public field, you are a research organization, you are an NGO, or doing field work, this video is for you. So let's get into it. To understand why CAPI matters, we need to quickly look at where we came from. So the traditional method, which was PAPI, the pen and paper personal interview, exactly what it sounds like. An interviewer goes to the field, asks questions, writes everything down on the paper forms. So sounds simple, right? But the challenges were massive. High error rates were there, lost forms, delayed data entry, cost of transcriptions, and by the time data reached the analyst, it could be weeks later. So, with the evolution of time, since we know that everything is getting modernized, digitalized, so with our field as well. So, with the modernization and with digitization, there comes another modern method, which is called as CAPI, computer assisted personal interviewing. Instead of paper, the interviewers uses a tablet or a smartphone. Data is captured digitally in real time, which builds in checks. The upgrade is not just a convenience, it is completely different level of data quality. So, what is CAPI? So, it should be definitely clear, right? CAPI is computer assisted personal interviewing, is a method where a trained interviewer conducts face-to-face interviews and records responses directly into a digital device using a specialized software. The questionnaire is preloaded on the device. The interviewer reads the questions, the respondent answers, and the responses are entered on the spot. No separate data entry step is not needed. This means that data is available almost immediately once the interviewer or the field enumerator collects the data. The key features that makes this approach very powerful is that it is fully digital questionnaire, real-time data entries available for this, both online and offline capabilities it holds, which mean that sometimes a field enumerator has to go to very remote areas where connectivity is very poor. You don't find internet connections. So how CAPI helps in this? You can collect your data offline, and later on, whenever you get connected to your internet back, your Wi-Fi services back, you can get your data synchronized into the software. That's how CAPI works. It gives you built-in validation that catches errors instantly, reduced human mistakes, and significantly faster turnaround from field to analysis. Now, how CAPI works, it has a very simple, straightforward workflow that how can you actually work on CAPI, how this approach is useful to you. So let's look at the actual workflow. It starts with you have to design your questionnaire. So whatever survey you are going to conduct, you need to design a questionnaire. You can have any relevant questions you want to ask, any skip logic questions, whichever suits you. Second step is creating a digital form out of those survey questionnaire is the next step which CAPI holds. So whatever questionnaire you have created, you need to digitalize it into the form. Your program that form into CAPI platform needs to be done. Step three is the form loaded into the tablets or mobile devices. So after you have created that digital form in any software, you need to upload that into the tablet or a mobile phone, which the field enumerator is going to carry with themselves. Step four is the field interview happens. So whenever the field interviewer is carrying that particular tablet in which you have actually built that digital form in any particular software which CAPI holds on or which uses CAPI approach, the field enumerator can open their tablet, download that digital form, and collect that responses in time, in real time. And the data is entered directly. Next is step number five is responses are entered in real time and the data is stored on the device. After the field enumerator collects the data is stored on the device. This is a very secure way you can store your data and helps you create your data security with various forms of passwords and encryptions, which CAPI provides you. Step number 6 is data is stored securely on your device and encrypted. So whenever, if you have collected your data offline, whenever you get back to your server, you get back to your network, internet connection, you can upload your data collected into that form, you can load it to your server back when you are connected to the internet services. And later on, your statistical data analysis can take place. So that's how the workflow actually happens. What are the advantages and challenges? We know that any method has its own real strength and limitations. So with CAPI, and I'm going to highlight one of the main advantages and challenges here. So on the advantage side, we have it dramatically reduces manual error, which is the greatest strength of CAPI. It improves data quality through skip logic and validation approaches. It enables supervisors to monitor field progress in real time. It speeds up data availability. It supports offline collection in areas with poor connectivities. It cut down paper costs. And even let you capture GPS coordinates, timestamps, photographs, and along with your survey data. So that's the main strength or advantage which people are moving through to CAPI approach. Similarly, on the other face of the coin, we have challenges as well. Field in which investigators need proper training before deployment, because CAPI is something which is moving on to entirely on tablets, mobile phones, smartphones, and every field enumerator might not be having its knowledge. So before they are moving to fields, it is ensured that the organization give them proper training on this software or on this approach. There is an upfront investment in devices and softwares as well. So um, this is one of the main challenge, that there is investment in the devices which you give to the field enumerators, and the software and the server cost is need to be noted. Devices can be lost, can be damaged, or run out of battery in the field, which need to be managed. Internet is needed for real-time synchronization. Though offline collection handles it, but after that, at the end of the day, you need to synchronize into the server. So that is need to be taken care of. And some team members may resist moving away from the paper, which can create a management challenge as well. So everything with everything, you would require proper planning, proper management, so that you can move forward with this approach. Now coming on, what softwares does CAPI support? So CAPI is like an approach, but to make this approach happen, you need a software. So, for example, since I understood it like that way, I want all of you to understood like this way. For example, online eating is like an approach, but to make this happen, we use different softwares, maybe like Zoom calls, Google Meet, team meetings, and various other platforms. So these are the platforms which support this approach called as online meeting. Similarly, we have CAPI. CAPI is like an approach, and this approach can be happened using different types of platforms, which I'm going to explain in this slide. So before choosing which platform is suitable for you, there are different selection criteria which an organization or which an individual needs to keep in mind before taking CAPI as an approach for yourself. The 6 things which you need to depend upon is which type of study you're thinking of, or you're running with, your data security requirements, how much security does your data requires, what is your team size you're working upon, what is your budget, what is your infrastructure, what is your organizational infrastructure, and what is the scale of data collection you're going to collect. The major platform you'll see, or you must have gone through, or some of the major platform where CAPI runs upon is KoboToolbox or Kobo Collect. Next is REDCap. Next is ODK, Open Data Kit, and survey CTOs, some of the major leading platforms which works upon CAPI approach. In this video, we'll go deep into mainly two types of softwares. That is KoboToolbox and second is REDCap. We'll also have a glimpse of what is survey CTO, and we'll compare them and let's see what is beneficial for one. So before moving forward, one needs to note that not all CAPI platforms serves the same purpose. Every platform is built with some or the other specialization. So for an organization or for an individual, you need to be you need to have clarity in your mind before moving forward with any of the tools. Let's start with our first leading platform, leading software, that is KoboToolbox. KoboToolbox is a digital data collection platform that lets organization design surveys, collect data on mobile devices, and manage everything through a centralized system. It's widely used by NGOs, public health programs, research organizations, humanitarian agencies, and M&E teams. So, KoboToolbox is a free for non-profit organizations. We need to note that KoboToolbox is free for non-profit organizations like an NGO or a public health program or an academic researcher. If your organization qualifies one of these criteria, you can have zero cost while using this tool. Or for a profit or a private organization, you need to look at the paid plans of KoboToolbox. Monthly, it comes on monthly basis. The 6 key features which KoboToolbox serves or the advantages of using this software are: it is mobile and tablet based data collection, online and offline functionality, GPS location, it can capture photo and has media collection option available. It has cloud-based storage advantage available, which means that you do not need to have your own server to download your data, or your organization does not need to have a local server to collect the data. KoboToolbox gives you their own cloud-based services where you can have your data stored. So that is one of the advantages, and it gives you real-time monitoring, make it one of the most comprehensive free tools available for the field research. Now I'll brief you in a very easy way how to use KoboToolbox and what are the steps you can set up your KoboToolbox in your own system. Uh, the KoboToolbox has a very simple user interface. Starting with, you can create your account. You can create your account, maybe personal account or maybe organizational account. And directly after creating your account, you can start designing your new questionnaire there. Step number 3 goes with, when you start designing a questionnaire, it demands you to give your project basics, which means you need to fill up what is your project name, give a little description on what your project targets upon, what are the sector you're working upon, which country you are going to collect data upon. So these are the basic information the tool demands before you create your questionnaire. After you create your questionnaire, there are various options available which Kobo gives you. You can edit your questions once you have created them as well. You can browse your questions. You can upload them. You can see number of questions. You can deploy questionnaire. Once your question is ready, you can deploy it uh, to the platform. And you can even download your questionnaire. For example, if you have created, as an admin, you have created your questionnaire, the field enumerator can download that questionnaire in their system, because if they have no connectivity in their, if they are collecting data in a very remote setup, they can download that questionnaire and then can collect. Step number 5 is deployment and survey execution. For example, once as an admin, you have created your questionnaire, you can deploy that questionnaire. And as a field enumerator, what the field enumerator can do, they can either use the web link, which is available in the online mode, the www.kobo link, or they can download that application in their mobile tablets as well. And then they can use the same ID and password, what the admin has created, and then they can download those forms and then they can collect it both online and offline. If they're collecting it offline, they need to download those forms in the tablet, in their mobile. And later on, when they get back connected to the software, then when they get back connected to the internet services, they need to upload that into that server, Kobo server. Last step is, once every data is collected by the field enumerators, as a admin or as a data analyst, whosoever uh, has the advantage or has the grant of accessing that link, assessing that user ID and password, they can download that data, and that data can be exported into various form. It can be in Excel, it can be in CSV files, it can be in SPSS file. So that's how KoboToolbox work. Next is REDCap. REDCap is again another leading platform, which is great in demand, especially great in research organization, leading platform in research organization. Um, it stands for Research Electronic Data Capture, is a web-based application designed to give researchers and clinicians capacity to create and manage databases and surveys in order to support data capture. And it is especially used for longitudinal studies or longitudinal tracking of any studies. It is commonly used in hospital, universities, and mainly it is popular among research organizations and used worldwide. There are various users across many countries who uses REDCap as their primary survey tool or data collection tool. So I'll similarly, as I did it with KoboToolbox, I'll give you how REDCap, you can set up REDCap in a very basic way in your system. So REDCap works only on organizational account. You can create your organization account. REDCap is again a free tool. You can create your organization account, and REDCap will give you a license of doing that. Immediately once you create your account, you have various tabs available above, and you can create your new project. Since you can see on the step number 2, you can set up your project by giving the project basics. As compared to KoboToolbox, which I have seen, KoboToolbox demands minimum project description before you can start creating a questionnaire there. But with REDCap, since it is more research oriented, it requires you to give more research description, research or your study description before you start creating an online form and start collecting data. So there are various tabs you need to fill up on step by step, so that at the end you can create your digitalized questionnaire. Moving on, when you go to every tab, for example, step number 3 is designing your questionnaire. Every tab, REDCap gives you a video solution for every step. So whenever you're facing or you are stuck in any step, it gives you a video solution, so you can directly open that video and you see that how this step work, and similarly you can process or proceed with your step, so that you don't get stuck with any step. That's how REDCaps give you a solution. Step number 4, after completing each and every steps, it gives you a tick check in your checkbox that you have completed this step. And once all those 4 steps has been completed, that can be deployed in the portal and can be accessed by the field enumerator. And so forth, the same step will happen as it happened with the KoboToolbox. One of the main feature which KoboToolbox lack and REDCap has, and that's how research also demands, I think, is that it grants you user rights. So what is that? So in KoboToolbox, anyone who has the organization or maybe the admin created user ID and password can log in to that account and can download those questionnaires. But with REDCap, it gives you granting user rights, which means that the admin has the right that it can give different rights to who can edit, who can access, who can deploy those forms, who can download those forms, who can again submit those forms, and later on data analysis who can go through that. So different access rights is being granted to different types of users as per admin is decided. So that's how REDCaps differentiates between who is seeing the form. Next is REDCap resources. REDCap, before if you're choosing REDCap as your software for your data collection and data management tool, REDCap gives you various resources, gives you various videos, training videos. So it is beneficial if you're using REDCap. You must go through these training videos because it gives you brief overview, detailed overview of each step, how you should go through before designing a project, before starting a project, designing a questionnaire. So moving on, there's always a competition in market that which one you should use, KoboToolbox or REDCap as your survey platform, as a survey software on CAPI approach. So both of them has different purposes to serve, but more or less both gives you same purposes, regardless of the primary purpose of Kobo Toolbox is for field surveys and monitoring, whereas RedCap is mainly used for research and data management. And typical users of Kobo Toolbox is mainly in high demand in NGOs and development sectors, whereas RedCap is mainly high demand in research institutions. One of the main differentiations in both of these softwares is that Kobo Toolbox has a very simple setup. You don't require a IT department to set up this. Anyone can do it. It's pretty simple, and the server is inbuilt, which means that you don't need to buy an external server, or you don't need to have a IT department or a local server to store your data from the data you have collected from your service. That is beneficial point of Kobo Toolbox, which RedCap lacks because it does not gives you or provide you cloud survey. Hence, you need an external or local server, or you need to buy a cloud server for that. Next, last but not the least, is Survey CTO, another platform. It is a secure enterprise grade data collection platform which is built on ODK, that is Open Data Kit technology, designed for large surveys, monitoring and evaluation, research, and field operations. So it is used by mainly research organizations, NGO, international development agencies, government, and M&E teams. What makes Survey CTO stand out in its enterprise focus? It's best suited for monitoring and evaluation projects on large scale household surveys, international development programs, multi country reach, and field studies that need a military grade security and reliability. So if we compare all these three platforms on pricing basis, unlike Kobo Toolbox and RedCap, Service CTO is a paid platform. So it's not free. Pricing is subscription based and scales with your team size, vary with your team size and your data volume. But for large scale, high stakes operation where you need enterprise support and reliability, many organizations consider it worth the investment. So moving on, if you're thinking to have any of these softwares as your organization tool for data collecting, what an organization might need or what the organization required to set up CAPI as their approach in their organization is basically these things. Finally, before you implement CAPI platform, let's talk about what an organization actually needs to have in place. So on the backend and technical side, first and foremost, we need a server. For Kobo Toolbox, this is handled for you in the cloud itself, which Kobo gives you. For RedCap, you either need a cloud-based server, you can purchase that from various sources. We have AWS, we have Google Cloud servers, or we have Microsoft servers as well, or a local physical server with IT support. Second, you need an IT or technical person to install, to manage, and maintain the system as an organizational need. Third is a database system like MySQL or PostgreSQL to store your data. On field operations, what we demand as an organization is you need a reliable internet for syncing data, access to your dashboards, and backups through field data collection itself can happen offline. Next is you might require different types of Android tablets, phone, laptops, in which you will be collecting your data for a field enumerator. Next is, of course, you need to download in those tablets or in those gadgets, you need to download whatever application you're thinking on, whatever software you're thinking on. You need to download that software in your mobile application. Before the staff goes on to next is before the staff goes on to collecting data, the organization should ensure that they do staff training, that how these tools need to be used and what they need to make sure so that they don't lose their data. Staff training is required and admin training is required to maintain data ethics. And last is security setup. So, for any data to keep that, for any organization, data is the crucial thing, and to keep it confidential is one of the most primary thing in today's era. So, security setup is also needed. You need to be ensured that your passwords, your encryptions, your role-based access is given before you start and before you hand over the things to your field enumerators or before you hand over the things to your team. So protect sensitive data is one of the essential things the organization need to keep in mind before the team need to keep in mind. So I would end up by saying that CAPI is a very powerful tool, and CAPI is something which can change the face of how public health or how healthcare services is collecting their data into a very synchronized, digitized, and a very faster way. But I think every step, every new thing which comes into the market, it comes with, of course, its disadvantage as well. So it is a very powerful tool. It is a very powerful tool, but only when the right infrastructure and people in place and right management and planning has been done before implementing it is required.